here with the Minister of Economic Affairs and Investments, Honorable Chad Blackman from Barbados. Did I say it right?
Absolutely.
All right. Now everyone says Barbados.
Yeah,
you know, Barbados.
Barbados.
Good to meet you, sir.
Thank you.
You've just come off a panel discussion. We're discussing macroeconomics, and obviously the underlying theme of this is global Africa. So we look at the relationship between, Barbados and the African continent as a whole. What are some of the bottlenecks that are making us struggle to do business more fluidly?
I can tell you one that jumps readily to mind, the issue of transport. Barbados took a decision, the government of Barbados took a decision some 3 years ago to remove visas for Africans coming into Barbados. So whilst that's a good thing, and it means that Africans can come to do business, for tourism and travel, etc., they still have to broadly go through Europe where they need visas to do that. So therefore now we're working closely with a number of African partners and airlines to be able to really unlock that potential so that you can travel directly from Africa to Barbados. And why is that important? Trade, business, culture, allowing our people to reconnect to their active destinies. And a lot of the wealth that is in Africa and the Caribbean can now flow freely in the regions. And that's one of the reasons why even this morning you would have heard a number of panelists call for there to be an Africa-Caribbean trade area. Because it really then will unlock the potential that we have between all regions.
Do you feel the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement is covering that?
Broadly, I'd say yes, within Africa. But if you're now looking at that global Africa that you're talking about, where Africa now will look outward, you then now have to have a mechanism that allows another region to partner with them. But there's tremendous potential for the business sector in the Caribbean to come and invest in Africa because we have the skills and services, and Africa continues to be a tremendous region for growth. Now, how do we then leverage the opportunities between our two regions? Conversations like this that we're having at Afreximbank will be very, very, very important. Our policymakers have to continue to also look at those bottlenecks through the legislation to deconstruct what we're seeing is really the opportunity for our business sector to tap into those growth markets, tackling issues with climate, infrastructure, sustainability. So these are, I think, the priorities over the next decade.
That we should systematically tick the boxes.
Because without it, we're going to have potential growth, but not real growth.
And do you and your people identify more with Africa or the Americas? Let's be honest.
Do you mean generally in Barbados?
Yes.
I'll tell you this much. There is a shift, major shift taking place. Barbados became a republic in 2021. And even before then, you're now seeing more and more persons looking to Africa. In terms of even fashion, for example, myself. All I wear is African attire. The music, Afrobeats, Amapiano, is taking over the Caribbean completely. And why? So there's a consciousness taking place in our people. But it's also leading people now to understand it's not just about the fashion and the art and the music, it's about business. How can I now create my goods and services from the Caribbean and move it into Africa? And encouraging our brothers in Africa to do the same. So there's a reawakening taking place.
And also that, I guess, identifying with your origins, your descent. I know that's something that, we continue to talk about when we talk about Africans in the diaspora, for example. But as long as you have African descent, we do want that engagement. We do want that connection with Africans.
Absolutely.
So I think this is what you're speaking to. But like you said, it must also headline with business. Not just about finding your origins and, getting excited about it, posting about it on Instagram. It's literally a conscious move.
And I'll give you a very real example. Some 4 weeks ago, there was a pilgrimage of Liberians to Barbados. Some 400 or 500 came to Barbados over a week. And why is that important? In 1865, a number of Barbadians left to go to Liberia. And since then, 3 Barbadians became prisoners in Liberia. And now, because of that, 106 years after, they've now come back to Barbados and say, hey, not only is this our home, this is the place where we want to do business and investments and everything. So there's a tremendous set of economic partnerships and activities taking place between continents. But whilst it's sufficient, it's necessary, it's not sufficient. We have to go further and keep pushing.
Good. Thank you very much. We just had a long discussion on the stage, but thank you for that and giving us some highlights. We really appreciate it.